From Eagle River to the Sioux, from the Allegan Forest to Copper Harbor, from drag racing to Formula Indies, when it comes to covering the sport of snowmobiling, no one does it better than Michigan on Snowmobiles. Michigan on Snowmobiles is brought to you by Yamaha, makers of the most technologically advanced snowmobiles in the world. Keewaydin Casinos, let it ride. Micro Belmont Engineering, your cat connection. Butch's Jet Ski, your personal watercraft headquarters. And United Express Line Trailers, we're behind you all the way. So sit back and relax. Michigan on Snowmobiles will be right back to bring you the fun, adventure, and excitement from this past week.
Light makes right. In the battle to stay ahead of the pack, lightweight equals better performance and more nimble handling. Legendary Yamaha reliability and quality arrive on the snow in '97 in 10 new generation sleds, each one the lightest in its class. Built around 3 new engines, including the lightest triple in the industry. Light sleds, the right sleds, Yamaha.
What goes around comes back around, so let the new year start. Where gloves are worn to warm your hands, and good friends warm your heart. Share the dream, share the spirit, share the secret when you hear it. Keewaydin.
Hi, welcome to Michigan on Snowmobile's television show. We got a great show coming up for you today. Due to snow conditions, we were not able to get back out on the trails last week. But in place of that, we got a countdown to the Sioux I-500, the world's largest and most grueling snowmobile race in the world. 500 miles on glare ice. This race takes normally about 8.5 hours. There's some new issues this year and some things coming up. For you racers at home that are watching this year, before you go out for qualifying and the day of the race, before you get on your sled, it will be a mandatory breathalyzer test for all racers. Now on some good news for you fans at home that are coming up to watch the race, pit passes will be available to the general public, but please do not get close to the trailers and stuff, you know, where you see the television crews. You kind of want to stay away from there. They have special privileges. The general public should stay back a good 20 to 30 feet away. They're coming in and out of there real quickly. We don't want nobody to get hurt. As of right now, Yamaha has been in the race over 238 times. Polaris has been in it a number of 371. Skidoo, they've been in it 351 times. And of course, unfortunately, Arctic Cat's never won it. Let's see. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to be talking to Jamie Vinson, representing Yamaha, Steve Mitchell, representing Arctic Cat, and we're going to be talking to Todd Cricky, last year's winner, representing Polaris. We also invited Carl Schwartz from Skidoo. We'll tell you a little more about that. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for some great deals on 97 Arctic Cat performance, parts, products, and service, come on into Micro Belmont, 5385 Clay Avenue Southwest, Grand Rapids, Michigan. They got it all.
Irons welcomes the snowmobiler year after year with staging areas in and around the city. The home of the famous flea and ox roast in the summer, Irons has superbly maintained trail conditions in the winter. All groomers are also first responders and volunteer firefighters, so rest assured the whole family can enjoy a trip to Irons. Poker runs, gorgeous terrain, and the greatest food and drink around. Irons connects you with hundreds and hundreds of miles of trail systems. Come visit Irons, Michigan today.
Get your new Arctic Cat early and get the sled you want, the best deals, and of course, a good night's sleep.
From the trail to the track, Woody's Traction products stick with you. Ask for Woody's Traction products at your local dealer, or for more information on Woody's Traction products, call 517-689-4911 today.
Welcome to Michigan on Snowmobiles. It's that time of the year. It's the countdown to the Monster Mile at the Sioux 500. Here at Michigan on Snowmobiles, this is the first time it's ever been done, and we're going to talk to some of the drivers and get their perspective on what they think of the race. I'm here with Jamie Vinson from Team Chippewa. Jamie, tell us a little bit about your team and some of your sponsors.
It's Team Chippewa, sponsored by Chippewa Motors, Shelby Transportation, and P&P Collision, all located in Sioux.
Okay, the national anthem's getting ready to play. You're sitting on the ice. What goes through your head?
The first turn, that first lap.
Are you worried about everybody, kind of getting to gel together and see what the guy next to you is doing, or do you just go for the front of the pack?
Try not to go for the front as much as you want to, but you just let everybody crash and get that all over with.
Okay, we've gone through a couple pace laps. You're coming down the front straightaway. Take us from the green flag. Take us all the way around.
Okay, turn one. Going into turn one is a little narrow. You're going under the bridge. Try and get the traffic cleared ahead of you. Just pick a line. Get out into the back straightaway. Everybody starts to weed themselves out. Get into 3 and 4. They're spreading out a little more. And from there, you come up the front straightaway, and hopefully you got the first lap down.
What do you think's more fun? Well, for our folks at home that don't know this, NASCAR, you get hot laps. At the Sioux, you pay for the laps. You're going out and going for it.
Right.
Talk to us a little bit about qualifying.
Qualifying's basically a one-time deal, kind of. You get a wave off for each run that you pay for. It's a rush. You set the sled up low and go for the best.
Is this where the record speeds are set?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the record was broke 2 years ago. Since then, it's been closed, but
for the folks, what kind of speed do you think they're hitting down the back straightaway when they're setting the records?
117 or 118, I think.
That's incredible. On a snowmobile? Wow. Well, for the folks at home that sit in the stands in the summer, it's 80 degrees out. Talk to them a little bit about the weather and what do you wear for the severe cold? It was 42 below last year.
A lot of layers. Layer yourself up always from t-shirts all the way up to either your leather suit or a heavy-duty nylon.
Are you wearing anything special safety-wise underneath, any pads or anything?
Yeah, it's mandatory safety equipment, shin guards, a flak jacket. I wear elbow pads and a Snell 95 helmet.
What's the best you've finished in the history of the Sioux?
Team Chippewa has won it in 1975. I personally have finished 12th as my best.
Okay, well, hopefully we're going to see you in the winner's circle, especially because you're riding a Yamaha this year. We really appreciate you coming down.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you at the track this year.
In the battle to stay ahead of the pack, light makes right. Legendary Yamaha reliability and quality arrive on the snow in '97 in 10 new generation sleds, each one the lightest in its class, built around 3 new engines, including the lightest triple in the industry. So get down to your Yamaha dealer and see the '97 lineup of Yamaha sleds. Yamaha!
Family fun is yours with Rosenhoff Power Sports and Ski-Doo with the Rosenhoff Family Fun Pack, featuring 2 '97 Ski-Doo Formula snowmobiles, a trailer, and all the gear and accessories you'll need to have snowmobiling fun this winter. Imagine all this for just $89.98. That's just $199 a month, and we'll give you a $25 gift certificate if we can't beat your best deal. These packages are going fast. Don't wait. Come to Rosenhoff Power Sports on Ford Road, just west of Telegraph in Dearborn Heights. Call 313-278-5000.
Let's check this week's tech tip.
The first thing you should do is get the rear end of the sled supported properly. Here in the shop, we use a crank stand, just like this one. That gives you enough room to take a look underneath the suspension and so forth. While you're down here, it's a good thing to check your high-facts wears and odds and that, make sure everything's good and tight, ready to go. For first step would be to start the snowmobile up, rotate the track slowly, make sure there's nobody behind the sled, safety purposes. So the faster it needs to be rotated, should let it coast to a stop. Don't use the brake, that'll affect the moment. And then just measure our finger, just check the spacing in between the lugs.
Well, we're back. We're talking with Steve Mitchell. This is our season countdown to the I-500. Thanks for being here. Steve, how long have you been racing at the I-500 and representing Arctic Cat?
I've been racing at the Sioux for the last 5 years.
And how'd you qualify last year?
Last year we started in position number 3 in the front row.
Wow, that's great. And a little later on, we'll be showing the folks at home a shot of that. All right, same thing with Jamie. It's just before the national anthem. You're sitting on the ice. Now you're sitting on the front row. You got nobody to look at. What goes through your head?
The only thing that's really going through my mind is if we survive the first 10 laps. Usually after that, it's if you survive the first 10, it's usually you're good for the day.
Oh, great. Okay, we've done a few pace laps. It's time for the green flag. Take us around the track.
Well, you get the green and say start like last year was the first time I was in the front row. So it was a unique experience to be able to pull out without a lot of snow dust in your face. And it was basically clear sailing.
So it just hammer down, let's go.
You got it.
Now, qualifying versus the race, which one do you like better? You like being out there by yourself, or would you rather be out there with the pack?
I'd rather be out there with the other snowmobiles. It gives you a better gauge as far as how your sled is performing, and you know, that's what we're there for, is the 500-mile race, not time trials.
When do you think the race actually starts for your team?
Well, honestly, probably right from the green. It's important that you use your strategy all the way through. You know, you need to survive. It's a race of survival.
How critical are the pit stops? Do you guys rehearse any of that stuff, or do you just show up with a pickup truck and unload the sled and go out on the track? Tell us a little bit about what goes into setting up the race team.
Okay. My race team is primarily made up of my family. My dad, Bob Mitchell. He's been racing. He raced in the early days of the Sioux up till 1981.
Oh, great.
And he's our crew chief, so he's the boss. He's the one that runs the show in the pits.
So whatever Dad says goes.
Right. And my mother and my sisters are there. It's a lot of family and friends.
Oh, yeah, snowmobiling is a family sport. So do you do any of the rehearsing, or?
Yes, we try to practice. Like when we come in off from a time trial run, occasionally we'll pull up and maybe change a couple of skis, or just kind of go through the motions so we have an idea of what's going on there.
Can you tell us about some of your sponsors, like Arctic Cat? How much do they help out, or is it a lot of the little guys?
Our primary sponsors are Countryside Motors in South Haven, and Jim over at Micro Belmont helps us out a little bit. John Hooper at Hooper Race Engines in New Hampshire. He does all of our engine building and helps us out there. And Moto Tessinari, they build our reed cages, they help us out. And then there's, of course, you know, the many people that help us that nobody would know, like friends. You know,
a lot of behind the scenes,
exactly, like
working on the sled.
Like your buddy doing government jobs for you at his machine shop, and welding, you know, and you name it, you know, every bit counts.
Well, we really appreciate you coming out, and we're really looking forward to seeing you up at the Sioux. Hopefully you'll be on the starting line again this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's happening in the world of snowmobiling is in the Michigan Snowmobiler. Pick up a copy of Michigan's oldest snowmobile publication and subscribe today. The Great Lakes only winter wonderland traveler, the Michigan Snowmobiler.
If you're looking for some great deals on 97 Arctic Cat performance parts, products, and service, come on into Micro Belmont, 5385 Clay Avenue Southwest, Grand Rapids, Michigan. They got it all.
Let's see what kind of trouble Yikes is getting into this week. Whoa, Yikes! Now what? What are you doing now?
The trails are real bumpy. I'm gonna get out here on these railroad tracks and just let her fly.
Yikes, you don't belong on the railroad tracks. It's private property and you can get hurt. Hit the road. Get off my machine. Remember, when you're out riding, stay off the railroad tracks. It's private property. Only cross in designated areas. Don't be like Yikes.
Hello, this is Bill Manson for the Michigan Snowmobile Association. A lot of you out there have asked us about speed on the trails. Presently, there is no speed limit on the Michigan trail system. The law does say that you may not operate a snowmobile at a speed that is greater than what's reasonable and prudent for the conditions that exist. What that means is that if you're up in the Upper Peninsula on a railroad grade that's 16 foot wide and very smooth, you may operate at a reasonably safe speed, 55, 60 miles an hour, whatever feels comfortable to you. But when you're down in the Lower Peninsula or down on some of those windy, beautiful scenic trails we have out there, please slow it down. You don't need to go to the powering through the corners. Have fun and be safe out there. This is Bill Manson for the Michigan Snowmobile Association.
Well, we're back. We're talking with Todd Crickey, the 1995 winner. He's representing Polaris. Todd, thanks for being here. Well, you're sitting on the track. They're playing the national anthem. Nobody's fired the sleds. What goes through your head?
Oh, you think about your sled preparation. Do I have everything right? You had a meeting with the team in the morning. Go over everything you're going to do for the day, your strategy, your pit stops, what everybody's job is. Think about getting through the first turn.
Take us through the first turn. Take us around the track.
You come down for your pace laps. You kind of check your machine out, you steer back and forth, check everything over. You come down the front straightaway, and just before the green flag goes off, you'd swear you couldn't steer the sled. You're
hearing the funny noises.
Yep.
Something's wrong with the sled.
You're nervous, at least I am anyway.
Now they've dropped the green flag. What happens next?
Everything's gone. I mean, for me, the nerves go away. It's time to go racing.
Do you go right for the front of the pack? Do you want to sit back? Kind of, what's a little bit of the strategy?
We try to get to the front as quick as possible. You stay out a little bit more trouble that way. You got a clean track in front of you. Hopefully, if you can get the lead, try and get some laps on the whole field. And in the middle part of the race, you can take it easy on your equipment.
Now, what do you like more? Do you like the race itself or the high speeds of qualifying when you're out there all by yourself?
I enjoy both. I enjoy qualifying because to get in the field today, everything is so close, and so competitive.
What was it, 5 seconds between the front and back this year? That's incredible.
Yep. Your machine setup has to be real precise. Your driving has to be precise. I enjoy that part of it, but I also enjoy getting out there and running, 100 or 110 laps and run a tank of fuel through and let your partner take over.
Todd, what does it take to get ready and set the sled up for the race? And when do you start?
We usually start on the sleds in like September, or they're almost done by September. Troy works on them in Minnesota, and he brings them over here. We start with basically a stock Polaris sled like anybody else could go buy. Put a good front end on it, front end parts, good radius rods. We lower the sled down for qualifying to make it handle better. Then we raise it back up for the race, put some suspension into it. The motor is basically, it's not stock, it's probably got 120 to 125 horse.
So you're not winding them up as tight as like the drag racers are?
No, we need the durability. We have to make that sled live for 500 miles.
Is there any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yep, I'd like to thank Polaris, Weisco, Cometic, Camoplast. They supply us with the tracks. Woody's Traction Products. They give us all our studs, carbides. Flannery Polaris, he does all our motors for us. Does a real good job. Felsky Farms, they're from DeWitt, Michigan. They help us out a lot. And that's about it.
Well, we really appreciate you being here. Now, you're the top dog this year. What's it like when you know the whole field's gunning for you?
Feels good.
Before the footstep of man, after dinosaurs trod the earth, a blanket of pure white snow covered the whole world. Do you know what we call that time? The good old days.
Make your own good old days with a Ski-Doo from Team Butch. Ski-Doo, engineered for the way you ride. Team Butch, 7357 Expressway Court, just off US 131 at the 76th Street exit.
Let's check out the snow report and see what the conditions are like in your area this week.
Hi, this is Sherry. It's time for the trail report. Over in the West Michigan area, there's about a foot of snow. However, due to some rain, the conditions are extremely poor. Up in the Irons area, there's about a foot there as well, except the trails were very hard ridden last weekend, so they're not very good. Over in the Gaylord area, there's also about a foot of snow. The conditions on the trails are very poor due to the heavy riding last weekend too. Up in the Kinross area, there's about 8 to 15 inches. The trails are excellent and the groomers are running. In the Two-Hearted River area, we did not have a report available for this week's show. Over in the Christmas Munising area, there's about a foot to a foot and a half. The trails are excellent and the groomers are running. And our best snow report for the week comes from over in the Bergland area. There's about 40 inches and the trails are just excellent and the groomers are running. This is Sherry and that's the trail reports for this week. Remember, this is Michigan, and with the weather being so unpredictable, you'll need to call ahead. Well, from everybody here at Michigan on Snowmobiles, we'd like to wish you a happy and safe holiday season. Be sure to tune in next week. See ya.
What goes around comes back around, so let the new year start. Where gloves are worn to warm your hands, and good friends warm your heart. Share the dream, share the spirit, share the secret. When you hear it, go waiting.
Drinking and riding. We know alcohol can distort your perception. We know it slows your reaction time. And we know it impairs your natural sense of caution. But the only thing we don't know about drinking and driving is whether or not you'll survive. Zero tolerance, alcohol-free, is the only right way to ride. And it just might be the choice of your life. Safe riders, you make snowmobiling safe. For those who ride, you know snowmobiling is great fun. What you probably don't know is that drowning is one of the leading causes of snowmobiling fatalities. When it comes to riding frozen lakes and rivers, always check with locals for ice conditions and know before you go. Traveling on ice can be dangerous. Beware of pressure cracks, thin ice, and open water, and always ride with a buddy. When it comes to ice, if you don't know, don't go. Safe riders, you make snowmobiling safe.
Hey, relax. I know my limit. Come on, trust me. It's safe. I know. Don't worry. I know how to ride.
It's a sad thing when those who claim to have so much knowledge don't have the common sense to use it. When snowmobiling, don't drink and ride. Check locally for the ice conditions and always ride within your limitations. It's called common sense. It tells a lot about what you really know. Safe riders, you make snowmobiling safe.
Well, we hope you enjoyed today's show. It was kind of interesting to talk to some of the drivers, what goes on behind the scenes and while they're out on the track. Next week, we're going to be up in the Irons area. But before we go, we thought we'd give you a little more rundown on what's happening at the Sioux this year, the Monster Mile. One of the sponsors has put up $1,000 to whoever will break the track speed record. As of right now, it's 94.33 miles an hour. And that's been held by Jeff Kipmiller on a Ski-Doo. One of the other sponsors has put up $5 a lap with a payout of $2,500. Some others have put up, for 100 laps, 200 laps, some bonuses, depending on who's at that. Now we'd like to tell you what kind of money is actually involved in this race. This year, to sit on the pole, $1,200. To be the fastest person at the Sioux. Second pole position, $800. Well, guess what? If you're in third, it ain't good enough. Now the rundown. First place, the winner of the race, $12,000 to win. Second place, $5,000. Third place, $3,000. Fourth place, $2,000. Fifth place, $1,500. Sixth place, $1,200. Seventh place, $1,000. From there, well, from now you're gonna make gas to go home. Eighth place, $900. Ninth place, $800. And 10th place is all the product they pay, $700. Well, at least you'll get to eat dinner after the race. Qualifying this year starts not Monday, Tuesday, January 28th, 1997. Registration will begin 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Show up whenever you want, go through registration. Qualifying runs will start noon till 10 p.m. And I know this year they're cutting them off at 10 p.m. But if you're on the track, they'll let you make the run. Wednesday, January 29th, same thing. Thursday, January 30th, final day of qualifying. A lot of bumping goes on that day. It's pretty interesting. We also invited Carl Swartz, representing Skidoo, to be on the show, but due to bad weather conditions, Carl was unable to make it. For those of you computer hackers at home, if you want to find out a little more about the 500, check them out at www.i/500.com. Till next week, hopefully, we'll see you out on the trail.